Should be right here. There we are.
There we are. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to start the podcast. So we're recording a Facebook Live and a podcast at the same time. My phone is atop a roll of paper towels to the side for a stand there.
We're doing something a little bit different. We don't have like a big activity to do today. We're not painting or doing anything crazy. We're just kind of talk to you guys. We get asked a lot about our relationship, like how do we meet, and how we work out some things in our relationship and how it's different than our past relationships. So we're just gonna kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions too, go ahead, you can put them in the comments and we'll try to answer them as long as they're not too personal. And we'll just kind of see where this goes.
For sure. We made some bullet points to kind of guide us along, so if you see us look down, that's why. We have a few notes.
Feels like it's...
Yeah, do tag me, please.
It feels like it's trying to focus on us.
Okay.
It doesn't know what to focus on. I think the sun's really bright, so we had to...
Yeah, we put the door down. We're in our garage again because the dogs are inside and they're too loud and like...
The dogs are loud.
In our faces about it.
Yeah, and Sully's in trouble. He's grounded. So he's trying to make up as much as he can so he can get off from being grounded because...
He ate 6 chocolate chip cookies and he's grounded from snacks for the whole day.
And it's really hard.
It's not that bad.
Being a Labradoodle and being grounded.
That's all he's grounded from is extra snacks.
Just extra snacks. It's a big deal in our house.
All right, so, let's start with how we met. How did we meet?
We met online.
We met online on OkCupid.
We started talking online. We started text messaging back and forth and emailing, just kind of sharing a little bit about our lives. And then we met in person, finally. Mm-hmm. It was the week that I was competing as a powerlifter. My big goal then was to go to nationals and to be able to lift enough so I could, so I could compete in nationals, but I had to, I can't even remember the word now, but I had to be able to make it. So I was training a ton during that time, and she was like, I want to meet you really bad. And I said, I'm so busy, I can't figure out how to do it. And then finally on a Thursday, I just text messaged her and I was like, can you meet me tonight for coffee?
That's basically it.
Yeah, she has a much better memory than I do. I think it was a Thursday.
That's the highlight. We met on a Thursday night, yeah.
I got that right.
It was going to be for coffee, and so I was planning on, like half an hour, whatever she could do since her schedule was a little bit tighter. So we picked a location as close to the middle of where we lived as possible. I lived in McKinney at the time, and we were going to meet at like 6 o'clock, and she was running a few minutes late, and she was super self-conscious about it because she had a unfortunate experience before with dating somebody else that I guess wasn't so forgiving or understanding with traffic. So I was just waiting politely on her to like get there and find a parking spot, and I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought it was cool that she was considerate about being a few minutes late, but I didn't think it was a big deal by any means. I didn't want to set the wrong tone of me being frustrated or impatient or anything like that. That just sets a bad tone, for the whole night and what could have been a very short relationship had I been frustrated. So it goes into like trying to set each other up for success and not failure, and providing a safe, just a safe environment and a kind of a safety, net for everyone. So
and to try to I was trying to be super considerate of her.
Hey, Stacey. Hey, Stephanie.
Because I didn't want to leave her at a restaurant sitting by herself or make her think I wasn't coming or anything like that. So I think the big point that we're trying to get across here is that it's okay to learn from your past. It's okay to learn from past mistakes that happened. Our past relationships didn't go so well. But that's what we need to do. We need to just learn from them and move on from that and realize that although that happened in the past, that's not the norm for the future. I was really concerned that she would be angry at me for being late because I had a past relationship with someone who, if you were even like a second late, they would freak out. And so I was afraid of that. So I think a lot of times we go into relationships holding baggage from past relationships, and we're afraid of things that that maybe aren't an issue coming up. So it's just try to let those things go, I guess. And it takes us some time. It's taken both of us time to let things go from our past.
Sure.
But we're working together on it. And I think when you find a partner who can respect you and love you for where you are in life, that makes the biggest difference.
Absolutely. And I'm not much of a freaker outer, so.
No, I am. And that goes into our next topic, our differences.
Yeah, for sure.
We have the most amazing, fun differences ever. One of our biggest differences is her closet. You guys, she owns more clothes than you can imagine.
I've gotten rid of a lot, though.
When I met her, had 68 pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
68 pairs of shoes, and she still buys shoes. Like, they come all the time in the mail, more shoes. So, and she has tons of clothes.
Those shoes need good loving homes.
Oh Lord. She has tons of clothes, and our closet is all her clothes, basically, and I have a small amount. I was a single mom for a really long time, and being a single mom, I had to make sacrifices, and one of the sacrifices I had to make was not buying a huge wardrobe or buying a bunch of pairs of shoes. When I met her, I had a pair of boots and a pair of flip-flops, and that was it.
And like your workout shoes.
Oh, and my workout shoes. I did have those. And I have 2 pairs of jeans and a few shirts. So one thing that she's really taught me is that it's okay as we grow out of being, a single mom or whatever you are. When you get to a better place in your life, it is okay to spend money and time on yourself. That was always a thing that I would hold on to because I would feel really guilty if I went to the store and bought it. I'm like, I don't need a shirt. I have 5 shirts at home that all fit perfectly well. And she kind of taught me, it's okay to want this shirt. And it's okay to spend a little bit more money on this shirt because you deserve it too. Because we all need to take care of ourselves.
And it'll last a long time. Also, she's a Cancer and I'm a Taurus. So she lives to take care of everyone else. And I'm very materialistic, and I like nice things, and I like the simple feel of a nice shirt or the look of and the aesthetic of stuff. So it balances itself.
I like a good deal. I get
like
shirts at Target. She might spend $100 on a shirt. I might spend $5.
But it'll last a long time.
It's a little bit of difference. So I think we taught each other a little bit. Like I taught her that sometimes the $5 shirt or whatever can be just as nice and fun. And sometimes she teaches me that, it's okay to spend a little bit more on this nice fancy shirt because not only does it look amazing, but it makes you feel really good when you wear it. So
certainly so. And in some cases, more expensive, not to dwell on this, but like more quality will last a long time.
Yeah,
right?
It will. Another way we're different is lists. I make a list for everything. I make a list for lists that I need to make in the future because I'm crazy like that. She, however, loves to live life spontaneously.
I plan them
and
in different ways.
It's really hard for me. So the first time I ever took her to my grocery store, Target, I had a list of things that we had to get, and I'm very strict and true to my list. Again, going back to being a single mom, I had to learn how to shop on a budget. I mean, some months, or some weeks rather, I would have $20 for groceries, and I have a kid and myself to feed. So if I wrote it on the list, I bought it. If it wasn't on the list, I did not buy it. She did not have to be a single mom. She did not have to experience that in her life. So she would go into the grocery store the first time I took her to Target, or Kroger, and she was like, "Oh my God, we have to get all these things." Apparently, she had not been into a traditional grocery store.
I've shopped at Whole Foods primarily for the last several years for myself.
So she forgot how many amazing things there are at traditional grocery stores. And she started putting all these things in the buggy. I think that was one of the first times we really kind of, not had a disagreement, but we had a realization that we do things differently. And I was like, what are you doing? Get those things out of this buggy. They are not on our list.
She did spaz out.
I did. I spazzed out completely. I'm loud, if you don't know me. So she taught me that, it's okay to like get out of your comfort zone a little bit and do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I also taught her that it is really nice having a list and knowing what you're doing when you walk into places or a store. Or I made a list for this talk.
She did. Yeah, 3 pages.
So yeah, there's 3 pages down here.
But also, I buy the same things pretty much on repeat. Like
Right.
and I can make meals out of just about anything. And I'll also eat oatmeal for like 7 nights in a row. So
Yeah.
like,
You can't do that
I
with
buy the
kids.
same things. I don't shop to a recipe because I don't want to have like this wide array of stuff that I'm not only going to use one time. Like, I'll buy like butter and a lot of produce and pasta and some pretty basic stuff, and then make a lot of stuff out of that. So
One thing she's really amazing at is being able to cook things when it feels like there's nothing in the kitchen. My mom could do this. She was really good at this, and so could my grandma. My grandma was a pro at this. I cannot. I make lists in that I make meals, and then I list everything we need for those meals, and then I even list the day of the week we're going to have that meal. So
that stresses me out so much.
I love it because I don't have to think about it but one time. Like, what's today? It's Monday. What are we having? Tacos. Boom, we're done. Like, we're not, there's no worry about this. And that's how I like to live. But it is nice sometimes being a surprise. She's like, oh, I picked this up. We're going to have this for dinner. And I'm like, that wasn't on my list. So we had to figure out how to do that. And I think that's the best thing about meeting a new partner and being with someone is you get to learn from them and they get to learn from you. And I guess one of the biggest things I had to learn was just because someone does it differently than you doesn't mean they do it wrong. And I repeat that to her all the time. Being a single mom and have dated people in the past who didn't really have a way of doing life. I was a mom. I had to have a way of doing life no matter what I was doing in life. My way I always felt like was the best way or the right way. They did it a different way. They did it wrong. I think we, as moms, we have to let go of some of that control, or just as people, as women, as people who live in this society, we all have to learn how to let go of some of that control and let people do things the way they do them too. She washes clothes wrong or differently. So just because they do it differently than you doesn't mean they do it wrong. That's something I repeat to myself daily. Well, at this point it's like weekly or monthly, but there's always a little adjustment period.
Sully's trying to open the door.
If you hear that,
he doesn't like closed doors between he and Tosca, so he's freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, he thinks we're in a relationship, we're married or something. That will be a completely different talk on another day.
If you get a Labradoodle or a Golden Doodle, just beware of their attachment tendencies.
So I guess another question I get a lot is, how did you decide to be with a woman? And that's a real question, and it's not an ill-willed question. It's just a question that people have for me. I always knew this was a part of myself. My first kiss ever was with a woman. I dated women throughout high school. It was something that I always did, and I always felt more comfortable and more myself when I was dating a woman. When I had Trevor, he was a big surprise for me. And when I had him, I thought I had to give him a normal life. And I felt guilty for being who I was or having the feelings that I had for women. Because I was a mom first, and I really took that seriously, being a mom. And so for a long time it was really hard for me rather to accept this about myself, because I felt like I was in some way letting down my son by not giving him the traditional family, or I thought that if I had a man in his life, then he needed a man, he would turn out better. And I came to realize that it doesn't matter the gender of your spouse or your partner. What matters is that person is a positive role model for your child and for you and for your family. I think that really took some growing pains for me. It took me going through a relationship that wasn't healthy for me, just because I thought I was giving Trevor the right thing. And I realized in the end that children don't want us to be perfect, and children will love you and accept you the way you are. You have to just be happy. That's what our kids really want from us, is to be happy. And since we've met, I mean, Trevor's grown.
He's pretty happy. Yeah.
And
he's progressed and grown so much, like more than I would have ever imagined.
Absolutely.
And we've been together for 10.5 months, so.
I was gonna say a year. I don't know how long we've been together. It's another difference. We'll talk about that another day. I have a different mind of time.
Almost a year for building up.
We've been together for 18 years. I have no idea. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, having someone who's negative in your life can be detrimental to not only you, but your family and your child. And here's the crazy thing. I couldn't grow live plants in my house at all. Any plant I would bring in, it would die.
Or outside. There's
or
a
outside.
rose bush outside that bloomed, what did we count, 23
yes,
or 24 roses
the
this
first spring we were together, my rose bush bloomed for the first time, and it had 20-something big, huge, beautiful roses. Perfect.
I think it was equally 2 dozen
roses.
Like that.
And I really believe in these weird, kind of hooky, weird things. Like, I believe that things cannot grow and strive and live in an environment that's negative and unhappy. Now, we're like plant experts.
We got plants all over the house.
We have plants all over the house. Our
the
rose
basil
bush
plant is taking over the backyard. It's one small plant, and every time it gets water of ours or the clouds, like, it just expands.
It just goes.
Like doubles.
It's amazing. We'll have to show it to you later. It's pretty amazing. And I believe that. I believe when you let love in your house and you let happiness and you feel good about who you are and you're being true to yourself, that everything in your house gets better. It gets happier. It feels better. It smells better. It feels homier. And, I mean, your house should be your safe place.
Absolutely.
And so, like, plants grow and people come and friends come. And also, before, I had never met anybody in my neighborhood. I'd seen them here and there, but I didn't have a relationship or a friendship with anybody. Now we have met everybody on our street, including a ton of moms at our school.
Yeah.
And
hi, moms, if y'all watch this
hi.
later.
And they love us, and they accept us. And my fears that I had, they were crazy because, yeah, they were true fears at the time, but now what we have is so amazing. I think people, when they see us, they just see how much in love we are. And they don't dwell on the fact that we're 2 women or we are 2 moms or we're just 2 people who are really madly in love.
Not that anybody has ever said anyways, especially not here.
No.
Everybody's been amazing. So that's something that we talk about a lot and that we get asked, like, how do you, I was asked this in the last week, like, how are you received where you live? Because it was somebody from a different state. And, like, it's fine. Like, I work in a pretty conservative tech environment, and I have most of my adult life, and I've never experienced any sort of discrimination or, you know, negativity or anything based on what I look like. I'm normally, like, dressed a little bit nicer than that.
We're bumming it today. We work from home on Thursdays and Fridays, so we get to, like, lay around the house in our pajamas. I like to have my pajamas on until probably 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah.
So
like, we don't let, especially me, I had to learn to accept myself so that other people, like, would accept me, and that goes for anything.
Yeah.
We were watching the show on Netflix, 3 Wives, 1 Husband or something.
3 wives or something.
Yeah, and they have to go through a very similar thing. Like, they have to accept themselves, and they go through a similar sort of discrimination if they go out in public. So it's very similar. But I don't think about things like that. And I smile before people can have, like, I want to give people something to judge me for before that they have the opportunity to. So if we're in public, especially in a women's restroom, for example, that's
we have a running joke. How many days has it been since Beth has scared a woman?
It's been X number of days since Beth has startled a woman
in the public restroom. Because they think she's a guy. They walk in, they're like, oh God, I'm not in the right bathroom. And she's like, yeah, hi, come on in.
So I use a different voice. And Abby Wambach talks about this too, how she uses a different voice. I read her book recently, and she'll talk about how she uses a different tone of voice in the women's restroom to let other women know that it's okay, she's a woman too. Just because she has short hair or whatever, you know, their identification factor is. So
I think when you are comfortable in yourself, it really helps other people be comfortable with you. We met this couple at a breakfast place.
Yeah.
And they were very obviously conservative. They were very obviously Republican. I mean, it was very obvious. And we were very obvious us. But we had to wait in a very tiny area together.
We were basically sitting in their laps.
Yeah.
Like, it was really cramped.
So we sat down with them and we started talking about pancakes.
Well, at first I wasn't going to sit down because I didn't want to make them uncomfortable. I was just going to stand to the side and be respectful of their space. And then one of them said, oh no, come over here and sit with us.
And we sat with them and we started talking about pancakes. And we bonded over pancakes and how much we all love pancakes and how much we were hungry and we couldn't wait to eat breakfast. And I think that's important. We need to start having those communications and those open up the communication lines and just be, yeah, we're all different, but we're all the same. We're a lot more the same than we are different. And I think that's really important, to put our best selves out there. When they see us, I don't want them to just see a gay, lesbian, whatever you want to name us couple.
I don't even think of ourselves like that.
I don't either. We're just people. And I just want them to be able to see two people that are loving and caring and kind and who are just trying to go out in this world and make the best world we can.
I'm trying to raise a good human.
Yeah.
In the world. Like, everything I do, I probably do it too much, but I try to make everything a teaching moment for him. And he probably gets tired of it too.
He's sick of it.
Because I try to make everything into a life lesson. But
she's new at being a mom, so she's really excited about it. I've been doing this for a while, so I don't care anymore. I just scream at him.
We're shaping who he is, and so I take that very seriously. Like,
absolutely.
For everything, like what he eats and how he dresses and how he presents himself and how he talks, and we're working on tone and pleasantries,
saying hi, good morning, and thank you. Those are things that he has autism. If you don't know our kiddo, if you don't know him, I don't know how. We only just talk about him all the time, but he has autism, so those things don't come as easily for him. How to say thank you, or
make eye contact. We work on that a lot.
So yeah, we do. We work on that a lot with him, and I think it's really helping. His teacher told us that he came over and he was like, okay, you could see it in his face that he really had to figure out. And he looked at her and then he goes, may I have a marker? Or whatever he said.
On a smile, but we need to work on the eye part of the smile too.
So he thanks it if he just walks up to people and just flashes them like a big... And then he says whatever he wants in a really stern voice that he's gonna get what he wants. So we're trying to. He's working on it. So I think that goes into another thing that we did is Beth had to learn a lot when she met us.
Certainly so. I've raised dogs quite well, I think. I think my dogs are cool.
I've
not been responsible for another human before. So.
Our first date, she said, I don't know how I could ever love anyone more than I love my dogs. And I was like, oh, well, welcome to parenthood. Because you're about to learn that you can love in a way that you've never loved before when you become a mom.
I knew the words were coming out. It was no longer true. It had been true at one point, but it was no longer going to be the case.
So she had to learn to be a parent, and what are some of the obstacles?
I had to learn to be home. To be home regularly. Outside of my dogs, and, I could leave them. I could, get a dog sitter quite easily. You can pay somebody for that.
Right.
Trust my family.
You can't crate a kid.
Can't crate a kid. You cannot do that. It's frowned upon. We would never.
We would get in trouble. And we would, obviously we're good people, so.
Yeah. So I've had to learn to be home on a regular basis. I've only traveled twice this year, once for a family reason.
We have crows. I'm sorry, y'all. These crows, they're big.
Picking on our squirrel that I've named Steven.
We have a squirrel named Steven. His name is Steven because he has a little tiny tail. Probably because these crows
have
bite at him.
They were picking on him last week, and I had to yell at the crows.
And they're huge. They're the hugest crows ever. Hey, Lisa. So, anyway, if you hear that, that's what that is.
Sorry for them. So I've had to learn to stay home, and that it's okay and it's happy to stay home. Before, I used to travel a ton. Last year, I don't know how many trips I took, but my dogs were like, they're okay with somebody else, but a kid has school, and I have to get up to an alarm now. I didn't do that before. I just got up with the sunrise, and then I would get to work. When I
and she would stay up to 11 o'clock at night. We go to bed at 8:30.
8:30. I'm like, all right, let's go to bed.
We're exhausted.
So that was a change, but we have a very extensive travel list for hashtag Empty Nest
2028, baby. We're gonna be empty nesters. We are a little not sad about it.
He wants to skip junior high. He wants to skip 4th grade through 9th grade and go right into high school, right?
Yeah, which I'm totally okay with. He's really smart, so if that's his goal. I think he can do it.
We have to work through those years.
I'm all for it. So
I've learned how to clean peanut butter off of any surface. He eats a lot of peanut butter and honey sandwiches.
That's all he eats, really.
And I've learned I clean constantly, but I now clean a lot more because little boys are very messy.
Oh, yeah.
He'll go and make a sandwich, and then there's peanut butter from one end of the knife to the other, and I'm like, where did you put your hand? And then he's got peanut butter all over this. It's like he dunks his whole hand.
He does.
And I'm like, I'm pretty like clean and like particular, and there's peanut butter all over the counter, on the sink handle, on the light.
When we first met, she said, when I put something down, it stays there. And I was like, oh. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. And I said, nothing you own is going to be yours ever again.
I've also had to learn to put things out of sight. So I have some hatchets that I thought were put away, and he found them, and like he was pulling out down this basket that was gonna like
on his
head, and so I had to go and like hide those in our closet. So I've had to learn to be a bit more aware than I previously.
Her idea was to hang them on the wall. I was like, not with an 8-year-old baby. We're not hanging them on the wall. She's like, I painted them.
That's why I painted them before we met.
I was like,
that was my plan for them. But
it's never happening at our house because our dogs and our kid would kill each other with them.
So, yeah, I've learned a lot.
I think the last thing we really want to talk about, we were trying to make this not so long. I know that we love to just share about our lives, and we want to share with you as much as we can. But we also know that everybody has a life of their own. you gotta get back to it. But we are respectful of each other and the things that matter the most to each other. And I think that's really important in a relationship. A big example that we could think of when we were planning this out a little bit was concerts. I love country music, and I love Luke Bryan because he can really shake his butt. And
I'm over here.
And she does not. I mean, she's not like you, Luke Bryan, if you're watching. Hi.
I love you just fine.
But she's also like not a big Luke Bryan fan, and I'm almost like a crazy obsessed fan. And so
but I have my own. I've got 3 Red Hot Chili Peppers tattoos and a Dave Matthews tattoo.
And I don't like those bands very well.
Music.
So she bought me Luke Bryan tickets for just because, really. It was coming around Trevor's birthday, and he was here, and she went with me, and she didn't just go with me. You know how like some people, when they're not really into it, they're just like show up and like, whatever, I'm here, I did my thing. She was into it, and she was dancing, and we had an amazing time together. I think it's important that if you have a partner, to show interest in the things that they like, and not only show interest in them, but also be excited for them. I think the most fun thing about sharing things with your partner is that you get to watch them love and enjoy something, and you can enjoy it because they're enjoying it. And I think that's really important.
For sure.
There was a concert recently. Who was it?
Gregory Ellen Issakoff.
That person.
He's a folk singer. He's amazing. I learned of him like 6 or 7 years ago. He was opening for Brandi Carlile then. And so I've seen him a few times, but she didn't know him.
I don't know it. I still don't really know him. But he was good, and we went, and we had fun.
Yeah.
And so I think that's...
Girls. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that. There was some ladies
screaming
behind us that were rude. But
anyway.
Yeah.
It's like respecting what the other person loves and not raining on their parade. And it goes back to like our first date, like setting the other person up for success and happiness and not failure. I could have easily, just gone to the Luke Bryan concert and just like sat there the whole time on my phone or with my arms crossed or like
complained.
Just sour about the whole thing. But that would make it a rough time for her, and that's not cool.
And she danced. Cool. We had fun.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Song, and it was
it was one of the rap songs in the intermission.
Yeah.
369.
Yeah, that one. Everybody heard that song.
If you don't know it, then that's okay. We're not going to go through the whole song. But we do know all the lyrics. But I think that's another thing, is just encouraging each other to be who you are. I always knew I loved to paint, and I always knew that I could paint. But it wasn't until I found her and we became really supportive of each other and encouraging of each other did I have someone that pushed me to be myself and to love myself and to share myself with the world and to realize that who I am is beautiful and amazing. And she's really like helped me helped me learn that. Yeah. And I encourage her. We're not scared of the other person.
I'm not scared to try anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I have boundaries, but like I've always wanted to write a book, and I've wanted to have a podcast since last summer, but I only recently started recording episodes, and I only recently started actually typing out a book, and I only, like I've redone my website so it's like a bit more like user friendly and consumable. So like and it's all like because we're supporting each other, and so now
Yeah.
we're like both working on our businesses, trying to like better each other and help each other out, like
and inspire each other,
yeah, like,
and how to be better people.
you know, we're working on like little marketing pieces.
Yeah.
Like we've got some stickers. And
Stickers.
she's like, I think I want to order some stickers.
Yeah.
So like,
We work on our websites
that's-
together.
Yeah.
We spend time together. We're doing a podcast right now. Hi guys, listening to our podcast. We're doing a podcast right now for her business. We paint for my business. So we're really we're not afraid of empowering and encouraging and inspiring each other. And I think that's really important in relationships is, you know, allow the other person to be who they are and try to like help them grow and to be better people. That's really what we're all here to do, is to make the world a better place. And what better way to start is, you know, with the person that you love and you spend the most time with.
Definitely so.
And be best friends.
Yeah.
Like, she's my best friend. We laugh
We laugh a lot.
all the time.
Sometimes I make inappropriate jokes, so we laugh at those expenses.
We
But
laugh. We
we
laugh. If
a
we
lot.
like belly laugh, like our
Usually-
stomachs hurt. And I don't know about you guys, but it had been a long time since I had really laughed like that before I met her. And the first time I did it, I could feel it, and I could feel it like in my stomach. And I knew at that moment that this was something really special, because it's not every day that we get to laugh like that. So
Certainly so.
I
It's
hope you all
important.
enjoyed this. I know it's a little different. We're not doing anything crazy. We're not painting or making things, but
This is a little crazier. This is a little bit vulnerable,
it is. It's hard
especially for most people. So.
to share about yourself. So
All right.
we're gonna try to do these every Thursday or Friday.
Yeah,
To
those
spend
are-
some time with you guys.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are liking it as much as we're liking painting and putting them on.
For sure. We should promo ourselves, so give your website.
I'm
and your-
artbytosca.com. You can
Mhm.
find me and see how much you like my art, or go to my website and look
Mhm.
around. I'm going to start adding some more bloggy type things to it. So
Mine is livewell.com, and on Instagram and Facebook. I have a podcast, as we mentioned. It's on Anchor, it's on Google Podcast or Google Play, whatever that platform is. It'll be on Apple Podcast soon. The sun's coming down, so it's getting a little bit better here.
yeah, we're getting brighter.
It's on Stitcher. It's on basically anywhere you listen to podcasts so far, except for Apple. It's not out there yet. We're working on that.
So don't worry, Android users, you're not missing anything.
It's on Podbean. It's on like 7 different platforms. So anyway,
Okay.
you can find that. And thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye.